Good day, classmates, and good day to you, ma'am. I am Kimberly Ovillacora, the first reporter of the Group 7, and the chapter that we are going to discuss for today's session is the Chapter 5 entitled Developing Scoring Rubric. So without further ado, let's get started with our lesson. I know that you're all familiar with what is rubric because we use it in our schooling life, right? Like we would conduct performances like dancing, doing activities, lab projects, and everything. But allow me to share to you what is the meaning of rubrics, what are the parts of a scoring rubric, and why should we include levels of performance in making a rubric. So, according to Brookhart of 2013, he says that a scoring rubric is a coherent set of criteria for student work that includes description of levels of performance, quality on the criteria. So basically, a rubric is a tool that used by the teachers to assess the student, to know what are the levels of performances that students would make with that specific performance or activities the teacher would allow them to do. So basically, scoring rubric are typically employed when a judgment of qualities is required and may be used to evaluate broad range of subjects and activities. So as what I have said earlier, when doing some activities, you must hand them or give them some rubrics for them to follow, para na sila'y standard kung unsa dapat ilang buhaton, what should they do, what should they do not do in doing that performance, So for the teacher to know what are the qualities that the students are expected to perform in that specific activities, and for the students also to know what are they gonna do to meet that standard that the teacher gave them. So now let us proceed to the parts of a scoring rubric. So it has two major parts. The first one is the coherent sets of criteria or the alignment of your criteria to your activity. The second one is the description of levels of performance, kung unsa kabug-aton ang imong mga criteria, nasa mga ratings. Right, so now that you got to know what are the major parts of a scoring rubric, let us proceed to the sample recitation rubric for you to have a clear idea of what really does a rubric has. So, in my given sample, the rubric has 4 criteria. So, namely the number of appropriate hand gestures, appropriate facial expressions, voice inflection, and lastly, incorporate proper ambience. And the one that you see in the upper part, the numbers 1 and 2, are what we call the levels of performance, while the 1 to 4 and the 5 to 9 are the scores that they might gain in doing that performance. So, now na-identify na nato unsa na ang criteria ug aha na siya naka-place in making or doing a criteria. Naatay ginatawag nga descriptors. So, unsa man ang descriptors? Kaning mga descriptors is, along with the criteria, these are the descriptions that what are the qualities or the characteristics the student should do and should not do. So, in this sample, the descriptors are list of inappropriate facial expression, monotone was used, and lastly, the recitation contains very little feelings. So now that you got to know the parts of rubric, so let us now proceed to why should we include levels of performance in making a rubric. So it has 3 reasons, but let us first proceed to the number 1. So the first one is clearer expectation. So it is useful for both teachers and students if the criteria are identified prior to completion of the task. Students know what is expected of them, and teachers know what to look for in students' performance. So, as what I have said earlier, no, na in making a rubrics, you should know that your criteria or your qualities that you want the students to know should be clear and precise, no? So, you have to consider the things that, okay, what should I want my students to perform during these specific activities? And for the students' point of view, what should we do in order to meet the teacher's standard, no? So, ano lang na siya. So, the next one is, okay, so let us proceed to the second one, the more consistent and objective assessment. So, list of performance permit the teacher to more consistently and objectively distinguish between good and bad for performance. So, of course, in doing something, no, after that, we as a teacher, as point of view sa teacher, makaingon man kita nga, ay okay kani nga student nag-excel siya ani nga part. Well, kani nga student is wala kayo siya nag-excel, average lang siya. So, based on the data that you have gathered from your rubrics, no, makaingon ta nga, okay, this one is very good at it and this one is not so very good. So, consistency siya. Na siya consistency and of course, objectively, nagabase ta sa atuang judgment based sa atuang nakita or na witness. So, the last one is, and last but not the least, the better feedback. Of course, it will allow the teacher to provide more detailed feedback to students. It can clearly recognize areas that needs improvement. So, of course, after your activities and everything, makaingon naman nata na nga, ay okay, I did not perform very well in this part. So, next time, I will do better. So, as part naman sa part ni teacher, na makahatag siya mga feedbacks nga, okay, this one, dili kay ka naga-excel. So, next time, practice this one, this and that. So, naay feedbacking mahitabo, no? So, it is very important na after our performances and everything, as a teacher, maghatag itag feedback, no, para makabalo ang mga students nga asa dapit ilang strength and weaknesses and ug unsa dapat buhaton nila for the next time nga maka-encounter sila in ato nga activities. So, I guess that would be all for my report. Thank you for listening and watching. Please watch out for my co-reporters because they were going to explain to you what are the types of a scoring rubric. So, guess that would be all. Thank you.